I like Apple. I use Apple.
Welcome to Mac.
But don't do it. Don't buy the MacBook Neo unless... Okay, the MacBook Neo, you've been seeing this everywhere. Everyone's going nuts over it. $599, a new product category, if you will, from Apple. The easiest way to get into the Apple ecosystem with a MacBook. All right, let's get to it. First off, I'm not here to be a big spec guy. There's tons of videos out there for that. Right now, we just have to go through some of the basics. Number one, it gets the A18 Pro chip. That's the same chip found in the iPhone 16 Pro. You get 8 gigabytes of unified RAM, and you get 2 USB ports. One's faster than the other though. We'll get to that in a minute. And then you get these fun colors in citrus, indigo, silver, and blush. And let's be honest, the colorways draw you in. It's what drew me in, if we're being honest. And you pair that with a price of $599, which always somehow sounds 10 times better than $600. That always marvels me. It's like, hey man, $600 for the new MacBook? No, too expensive, I'm out. Hey man, $599 for the new MacBook? Wait a minute, I think I'm in. Anyway, let's break this down. The processor, the A18 Pro chip. This is not the problem. This is a powerful processor. I mean, think about how much you get done on an iPhone 16 Pro. And now this same A18 Pro chip has the ability to run Mac OS, which is just absolutely mind-boggling. It's actually really impressive. If you're a big benchmark guy, the Neo's performance is on par with M1 Max. This is an M1 Mac. And I multitask like crazy on this thing to the point where I actually feel bad for the computer that it has to keep up with me. I mean, I'm editing videos, 3,000 tabs open that I'll never use again, and it does great. And now you're probably thinking, Cam, what's the issue? You use an M1 Mac, the Neo's on par with that, so what's the problem? I don't see what's going on here. What are you getting at? I'm getting at RAM, unified RAM, 8 gigabytes of unified RAM. That's what I'm talking about. This becomes the trap. This is the problem. This is my concern. Real quick, if you're not familiar or a tech person, there are 3 terms that we need to go over that will make the rest of this video click. That's CPU, GPU, and RAM. The CPU, that's the central processing unit. And then you have RAM, which stands for random access memory. And then you have GPU, the graphics processing unit. Your CPU is your processor, the brain of the computer, handling everything your machine does from moment to moment, opening apps, running the operating system, switching between tasks. And your GPU handles all the visual processing, exporting videos, rendering graphics, anything your eyes see on screen. And finally, your RAM. It's your active working memory. It's what holds everything currently running on your computer. Think of it like a kitchen. CPU is the head chef, GPU is the prep assistant, and RAM is the counter space. Both the chef and the assistants need that counter to work. And on the Neo, the counter space is only 8 gigabytes. Small. So you have a small counter space with the chef, the CPU, and the prep assistants, the GPU, all working on this small little space, and it fills up really fast. And so you can't get a lot of work done when it's completely full. But think about having a large counter space. Instead of 8 gigabytes, 16 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes. Now you have a lot of space to get things done. So if that didn't make any sense or click, simply put, the more apps you're working on simultaneously on your computer, the more it eats away at your RAM. And when your RAM gets low, your computer slows down. So instead of working on like 15 projects at once, close some of them out and maybe just work on a couple. Look, I'm just speaking from experience. Every single time I went for the low RAM variant or the base entry-level model of something, it just didn't pan out. So my first experience with low RAM, my first MacBook had 4 gigabytes of RAM. I know what you guys are thinking, this is older, technology, but the principle still stays the same here. It worked great at first, but as time went on and things require more memory, it started to just run really slow. I couldn't even open like 2 or 3 apps at the same time. I was getting the spinning beach ball on Mac. You guys know about that. And then I finally had enough. I said, hey, I'm going to take it upon myself. So I actually put some new RAM in it. You could do that back then anyway. And I can't do that now. And the thing worked flawlessly after I upgraded the RAM. So I could do multitasking. Everything was great. In my second experience, I bought a base Surface Go. It looked really cool. I liked it. 4 gigabytes of RAM. But I thought it'd be okay. Long story short, it died. Now that probably has nothing to do with the RAM, but we're going to blame it on it anyway. Though I will say I actually edited my first several YouTube videos on that thing. Now let's test out if this thing can blow it away. But I loved the program. It was easy to use, it was fun, and it got me excited about pursuing this YouTube stuff. Then my third example, I had a work computer, 8 gigabytes of RAM. It was a Dell, seemed solid at the time. I tried to use my work software, combined with some Chrome tabs and maybe a Notes app. I could barely do it. It just wouldn't load my work software. I was struggling to get my work done because the computer just wouldn't move fast enough. I then take it to IT. I'm like, hey, what's going on? I need a new computer. They refuse. They say, hey, we'll give you some more RAM. So they updated it to like 12 or 16. I don't remember what it was. It ended up running way better. I was actually able to accomplish the things I set out to do. So anytime I have the option to add more RAM to my device, I'm gonna choose it. Now, there is two caveats to this whole RAM situation with Apple. One, they use a thing called swap memory. And two, Apple's just good at optimizing things even when you think the specs don't align. So swap memory is basically when your RAM gets full, it borrows memory from your SSD and calls it fake RAM. And the only problem with that is over time, when your SSD gets filled up with all your photos, your videos, and your documents, there's nowhere to really take from. And now you're gonna reach that bottleneck again, and it's gonna be hard for your software to actually continue to run. Aside from that, the other downsides on the Neo are the USB ports. One is USB 3.0, great, and the other is USB 2.0, which is a very slow port for transferring data. So if you're moving massive video files, photos, or documents with an external and you use that 2.0 port, it's gonna be a long time with a lot of frustration. Also, FYI, there is no backlit keys on the Neo, so nighttime, you might need a night light. So in my opinion, who is the Neo not for? Well, one, gamers. I know you guys like to have the best specs, no frame rate drops, no lagging, not for you. Two, those getting into 3D rendering or CAD modeling, not enough RAM there, probably not for you. Three, the beginner video editor who thinks they're just gonna do some basic 4K and regular cuts, which you can do on the Neo, but you know darn well you're really passionate about it and you're gonna start using a lot of layers, a lot of effects, and a lot of different plugins. Not for you. Creative and design students whose software demands are only gonna increase over time, probably not for you. Four, for those heavy multitaskers who like to have tons of apps and projects going on at once, probably not for you. You might want to step up to the next tier of a MacBook. So if you yourself decide that the Neo is not for you, here are some other options. For $500 more, you could go up to the M5 Mac, getting a more powerful processor, and you get 16 gigabytes of RAM. And now you're future-proofing your device for like the next 4 or 5 years, where I think it will last and you'll have no problems getting things done. Another option is you could look for a refurbished, older MacBook Air, MacBook Pro for maybe $800, $900. But to be fair, I get it. I personally don't like used tech. I like to have my tech brand new. I don't know, it's just fun, more exciting that way. The last thing to keep in mind, if you are going to edit on this MacBook Neo, you would definitely want an external SSD that is fast enough to edit off of, because the render files that build up on Final Cut Pro, they get really big and they're gonna end up eating away at all your storage. Yes, you can delete them. I'm just saying it might make things more clunky on your MacBook Neo. So keeping everything separate on the drive is going to help you run more efficiently. Let's not get it twisted here. Despite the limitations I discussed in this video with the Neo, I think this is a fantastic offering from Apple. I think this MacBook will be a great buy for a lot of people. It will be an awesome resource for them, and I think it's a smart move. So who are the categories of people that this would be a great investment for? The number one most obvious is students, high school, college, writing the papers, researching topics, YouTube videos, whatever it is that they're doing, this is gonna be a good one. Second, writers and bloggers. It's small, it's compact, it's efficient, and it's gonna get the job done. And then three, how about people who just do basic stuff on their iPhone, but they want a bigger display to do some of the same things? This will be a great entry point for them. Four, how about someone who just wants a laptop for the first time, they don't know what to get? I think this is an easy recommendation. I feel like this is a great move by Apple overall. I mean, this new category at affordable price, you're gonna get a lot of people who never used a MacBook of sorts before. They were on some cheap $300, $350 Windows computer that they got on sale from like Staples or Walmart. And then they're gonna come use the Neo and they're gonna be like, wow, this is way faster, way snappier than my previous computers. I love Apple. And then once they have that for a while, they're probably gonna upgrade to like, a new MacBook Air or a MacBook Pro at some point. So needless to say, I'm curious how the Chromebooks and the Windows of the world are going to respond to this offering from Apple with the Neo, because previously they kind of held down that computing segment of budget to mid-range devices. And now with Apple coming in, some of their user base is probably going to get taken away. And a lot of people, once they get locked into the Apple stuff, they're hooked and they're ready to stay in that. Anyhow, do what's best for you. Know what you need your device to do. Maybe go to the store and check out this Neo and see how it performs in person. See if you like it, see if it matches your vibe. And with all that being said, I think I want to get my hands on a Neo anyway, at least as a secondary device. It feels like something cool I can just bring to a coffee shop, act like I'm doing big business things even though I don't drink coffee. Let me know in the comments if you're getting a Neo. I'd love to hear about it. Appreciate you guys watching. See you in the next one. Peace.